Hi, my name is Mac Cosgrove Davies, and I'm one of the Arlington County Spellbinders, which is part of the 55 Plus program. These two stories are about the Three Billy Goats Gruff. Maybe you've heard of this story, but this is from two different perspectives, and I'd like you to think about which perspective makes the most sense to you. There were once 3 billy goats, and they were all brothers, and their last name was Gruff. Now these 3 billy goats Gruff, they were walking and eating the grass in the valley, and it was springtime, so the grass was green, and it was plentiful, and they were very happy. But then summer came along, and the sun came out, and it dried up the grass, and they got a little hungry. And as they were looking across the river into the meadow on the hillside, they saw wonderful green grass. And so the littlest billy goat decided, I'm going to go and eat that grass. So the little billy goat went down the trail, trip-trop, 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 came to the bridge and started to walk across the bridge. Trip-trop, trip-trop, trip-trop. Well, underneath that bridge was a troll. And that troll was big and ugly and had eyes the size of saucers. And when he heard that little billy goat, trip-trop, trip-trop, he said, who's walking across my bridge? Well, the little billy goat said, it is just I, a little tiny billy goat. I'm going to eat you. Oh no, please, Mr. Troll, don't eat me. I'm so small, it wouldn't be even half a meal for you. Why shouldn't I eat you? Oh, I have a brother who's coming, and he's bigger than me. You can eat him. Oh, all right, you can cross. So the little billy goat, trip-trop, 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 went across and started eating the grass. Well, a little while later, the middle billy goat decided he wanted that good grass too. So he walked down the road, trip-trop, 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 and he came to the bridge. And he started crossing the bridge, trip-trop, trip-trop. And of course, you know what happened. The troll said, who's walking across my bridge? And the middle billy goat said, it is only I, the middle brother. I'm not that big. I'm going to eat you. Oh, please don't eat me. I have a really big brother who would make a wonderful meal for you, and he's coming really soon. Oh, all right. And so the middle billy goat, trip-trop, 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 went across the bridge. Well, the third billy goat, the biggest billy goat, was also getting pretty hungry, and he looked across, he saw his 2 brothers already over there. He thought, I'm going to go across that bridge too. So he walked down the path, trip-trop, 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 and he came to the bridge. Trip-trop, trip-trop. Who's walking across my bridge? It is I, the big billy goat. Now, billy goats have horns. And when the ogre, the troll, got up on the bridge, he thought, that looks like a great meal. I think I'm going to eat you. And the big billy goat says, you just try. And so the ogre starts running at the billy goat. And the billy goat starts running at the ogre. And when they meet in the middle, boom! And the ogre, the troll, falls into the water and he floats away. And the big billy goat walks the rest of the way across the bridge. Trip, trop, trip, trop, trip, trop. And he also gets to eat the wonderful grass. And from then on, no one ever had a problem with the troll. You might think you know the story of Three Billy Goats Gruff, but you listen to this one. Have you ever heard a story and thought, I wonder if there's a different point of view, a different perspective? Sometimes you might hear a story and think, that might not be right. And other times, you might hear a story and think, how could that be true? Well, I'm here to tell you the real story of the Three Billy Goats Gruff. Hi, my name is Andrew T. Roll. The T stands for Theodore. My friends call me Andy. And some people call me Mr. T. Roll, which is fine. Some people call me Mr. Troll, and that just gets me so angry. Sorry. Well, I may be big, and I may be ugly, and I might have eyes the size of saucers, but I'm a nice guy. For example, do you see this raging river right here? All that foaming water? Well, it used to be that people had to walk way upriver in order to cross. And I decided, I think I'll build a bridge right here. So I built this wonderful bridge. And people liked it. But you can't just build a bridge and walk away. There's always something that you need to fix. You need to replace a board or fix a rock or something. There's always something to do on a bridge. So I was working constantly on this bridge. And the people who used it, well, they liked it. And they appreciated what I did. So, they gave me a coin. They would give me a nickel or a dime, or sometimes an apple, or sometimes maybe just a piece of wood for my fire, which was all fine. Until one day, I heard this sound. Trip, drop, trip, drop, trip, drop, across the bridge. It's fine. Everybody uses my bridge. I have no problem. But what I didn't hear was anything dropped in to my little box. And I thought, well, okay. Then I heard a trip, drop, trip, drop, trip, drop. And I still didn't hear anything in my box. And then I heard a trip, drop, trip, drop, trip, drop. And again, nothing in my box. Well, it was okay. Not a problem, because everybody else was giving me something, and I was still able to work and then eat. But after a while, I realized it was those three billy goats who were not paying, and you know what? Everybody else realized that too, and they thought, if they're not paying, why should I pay? And so after a while, nobody was paying. And here I am spending all my time every day working on the bridge, and they're not paying me anything. And I got hungry. Well, one day, that little billy goat came across, and I thought, it's time. And so I said, who's walking across my bridge? And little billy goat said, it's me, the little billy goat. And I said, are you going to pay me this time? And he said, no, maybe my middle brother will pay you. Oh, all right. And then the middle brother came along, trip, trop, trip, trop, trip, trop. And I asked him, and he said, well, my big brother will give you something. So I waited for the big brother. And the big brother came along, and I asked, are you going to pay me something now? And he said, why should I pay you? Well, I work hard on this bridge. This is a public bridge. Anybody should be able to use it, says he. Well, I can tell you, I got pretty mad. And he lowered his head and started running at me. I started running at him, but I realized those horns are pretty sharp. So as I moved aside to let him go, I fell off the bridge into the water, and I was washed way downstream. And by the time I got out, I thought, oh, I'm done with that bridge. So I built myself a little house, and I had a garden, and I would fish, and it was nice. And you know, every so often I'd hear a little bit. People would tell me, the bridge is getting kind of rickety. And apparently, one time when that big old billy goat was walking across, one of his feet went through a board that had rotted, and he fell into the water. And as he's floating downstream, all his fur, his fleece, getting heavier and heavier. And I was out fishing that day. And you know, I saw him coming, and I could see that he was just barely keeping his head above water. And I looked at him and I thought, serves him right. But then I thought, you know, I'm not really that mad anymore. So I waded in the water and I grabbed him and I pulled him out and I sent him on his way. And that's the real story of the Three Billy Goats Gruff. I've really enjoyed telling this story to you. I hope you've enjoyed it too. You know, there are more stories coming, so make sure you check back soon.